welcome back, dude.
House Cats.
Episode 5, Salt Lake City.
Come on.
Dude, I'm excited for this. I like this one. I felt like this one might be the most dynamic one we've had yet.
Explain.
I feel like...
Because there's been some dynamic
It's been dynamic, but I do feel like we're starting to get into the depth of the people on this show.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? Like there's more going on than just what we originally thought was just like, where are we? Bizarro land.
I thought no one can crack Mary's zen. Boy, did she crack.
I mean, we got a lot to talk about.
Right,
we got
ready.
a lot to talk about. Everybody, welcome back. Thanks for tuning in. We got women cracking we never saw cracking. We got women stepping up. We didn't see stepping up.
Man.
We saw... We got a lot going on. Let's jump into this. You want to just jump right in?
Let's jump right in. I want to start right there when we left off at why Jen was apologizing to Meredith and Mary was like, yo, where's my apology? And then,
Okay.
come on.
Yeah. No, that's exactly what it was. It was that thing was a setup.
It was a setup.
Let's be real.
It was a setup.
It was a setup to see what Jen was made of and if she would give Mary what she wanted.
She folded.
Let's be real. That whole luncheon was not for any other reason other than I'm going to try to get an apology out of Jen.
Well, you know, she said, Mary initially was saying the luncheon is for all the ladies to just get everything out.
Yeah.
So, but she didn't want to invite, quote unquote, she didn't want to invite Jen to but she was like, I don't want any drama. Because if she didn't invite her, it would have been drama. Mary, it's going to be drama either way.
Either way.
Come on now.
That's a lie. There's no question she wanted the smoke. She
wanted
wanted
the
to say
smoke.
what is
Yep.
going to happen.
Yep.
That luncheon, everything, it was not about friends hanging out.
You don't forget that comment that Jen made over the next episode. Oh, we're going to be hearing about that throughout the whole season.
The whole thing.
All right. But so we start off, right? Jen is very like telling us, the viewers and every woman at the table, she was like, listen, the reason why I go so hard for you, because if you're my friend, I'm going to say what I mean. And I'm going to say what everyone else is thinking. Like, that's how hard I ride for my friends.
Yes.
I don't want you to ride that hard for me, Evan, ever in your life. Don't you ever do that.
Yeah,
If you say some stuff that everyone is thinking, you're not my friend. That's why
Right.
that's why everyone is thinking it.
Right.
We're thinking it,
It's
but
supposed to stay in the head.
it's supposed to stay in the head. It's a conversation with you and your brain. Okay? I don't want to get into like neurology. But anyway, so
I don't want to get into my medical background. I'd rather just keep it Real Housewives, real basic.
exactly.
Yeah.
So she goes, so it's a comment where she was like, I say what everyone is thinking. Mary, like, and again, put yourself in Mary's Gucci shoes, right? And when you hear that and you heard the comment she said at the 1920 party, would you react the same way Mary reacted?
If that happened to me, see, it's hard because if I was in that, I mean, like, again, she's in that situation. So she's not accusing her of something that's not true. There is a level of like, yeah, it's disrespectful the way she did it. But if that's my life, there is a level of like, I would expect I would get dissed like that. I would expect that if someone's mad at me, that's low hanging fruit. It's easy. They'd come at me like that.
Yes.
So I think I'd keep my cool a little better, knowing that like.
But if I invite you and I give you gifts and I sit here and I think Mary was really waiting for her to apologize.
Right.
So
I see
that
what you're
was-
saying. Yeah.
So with all
Yeah.
So she was apologizing to Meredith. It was a sweet apology. We got to know Jen on the inside.
Yeah.
But Mary was like, hold on, I invited you, bitch. You know what I mean? That's what she said. Not me. She's like, I invited you, bitch. So and she's like, okay, well, that's kind of rude.
Yeah.
So right now, just imagine you hearing her Jen go all out to be Meredith's friend.
Right.
Like I hate to lose our friendship. I'm sorry. I ride hard. And Mary's like, hold on, I invited you.
Right.
I really didn't want to invite you.
Yeah.
I wanted to see what you would do. And you did not. You so predictable. You did what I expected you to do.
Yeah. Well, that was the setup side of it.
Yeah.
Where she's like, I'm going to invite her, knowing she probably won't apologize.
Yeah.
And then I'll make her look like the bad person for showing up to my party and not apologizing.
And I love a woman with a plan. You
and
know
that felt like a plan. It felt like, let's be real. Why would Jen out of nowhere just apologize?
Well,
you know what I mean? Like, I didn't expect it because even though Mary did, I didn't expect it because they hadn't really patched anything up. And her and Meredith, their falling out was so small compared to her and Mary's. Her and Meredith just had like a little tiff at the party. Jen realized, hey, I was a little out of line. I apologize for that. But nothing had been worked out between her and Mary since then. So I didn't expect her to apologize. And for Mary to expect she would apologize, I was shocked that she thought. But what I thought was interesting was you could tell the second Jen didn't apologize and Mary realized that she wasn't going to apologize, that's when the flip happened.
That's when she was out of Zen
Mary
mode.
just goes, click.
Yep.
You're done.
Just take God out the situation.
I'm out. You're out. Leave. And on the way out, I'm going to be rolling my eyes and smirking at you and making comments and all that shit. So you could tell that was the moment. We're not going to work this out. I don't care. We're going to do whatever it takes. You're out of my life.
Mary has strong facial expressions. Can
Dude,
we both
she
agree?
is the
Those
queen.
Eyes, yes.
Of
Okay. Yes.
if I was furious at someone and someone was making those faces at me, dude, it would take so much self-control to not flip out.
Some kind of
because when you're pissed, and if you were pissed at me and you were trying to tell me something, and I was just like rolling. I mean, dude, it's the most disrespectful thing ever.
She's so dominant with her facial expressions.
Oh my God.
It's so crazy. It's so it's captivating. But how she just
she goes hard too. It's like big eye
that
rolls.
wink. Oh
and
my!
She like hits it. Like it's not subtle. It's not in your face.
Exactly. And I think that Jen was like, hold on, don't roll your eyes at me. That was, and then she's like, yo, get out, leave, get out, leave. And Jen was like, what you gonna hit me? Yeah. I mean, Mary, she's like, what you gonna hit me? You gonna hit me? Like, yo, you're acting ghetto. Now here's the thing.
That was.
You never call. Now I know Jen is mixed. What is she? Samoan?
Yeah, she's Tongan.
Okay.
It's like Hawaii, I think, and it's like Islander, I think.
Islander. Okay. Well, I think that she is Tongan, and even with that, you can't say ghetto. But she's like, she identifies. I don't know how she identifies. But she relates. Like she's married to a black husband.
Yeah. She relates to not being a white person.
Exactly. So you say, yo, stop acting ghetto.
That's like
around a lot of white women. Come on, they tense up. So that's kind of like disrespectful. So disrespectful. And then so Jen was already on 10 after that. Yeah. She was already on 10. That's when the argument. That's when she was. Oh, I was crying a minute ago. I was letting you try to like get in my like
So she said don't act ghetto before she left for the first time, right?
Yeah. Okay. Then when she came back, that's when.
Yeah, because my thing was like at first Mary looked like the one who had her shit together because Jen was like was like exploding at her and like was loud and acting kind of over the top, and Mary was just kind of rolling her eyes. She kept her cool. So up until that point, I felt like, okay, she's in control. She's making Jen look like she's losing it. She's making Jen look irrational and like she's in the wrong.
You're basically saying Mary's plan is going
It's going right.
Yeah,
Mary, I felt like Mary was pissed about the night before. She set up the meeting knowing or hoping she would apologize, but most likely realizing she wouldn't. Then thinking Jen's going to go off again, and at least I'm going to be the person that looks like, hey, this person's attacking me for no reason. Which, in a lot of ways, Jen was pretty intense before that and pretty insulting and saying a lot of mean things to Mary. So Mary, up until this point, had it working for her. It was for Mary's to mess up. Then Jen goes outside. Heather chases her down, trying to be the best friend to all. And we all know how, and I love Heather, but she just tends to be a little bit like, that desperation friend that just says, hey, I really want you to be my friend. And so she's, of course, the first one that races out and is like, and she's trying to be Switzerland to everybody, which is just like, you're going to get bit when you're that way, which she does. But so then Jen comes back in.
Well, let's before when Heather and Jen was outside.
Yeah.
And all the ladies were at the table.
That's true. You're right.
Lisa wanted to speak up, but she felt like it wasn't her place because she was like, yo, when Jen said that comment at the party, I wanted to cringe. Yeah. Like when she said, I really cringed. But the fact that Jen said, we're saying, like she says what everyone else is thinking, she's like, it's simply not true. Yeah. And that's what Lisa was kind of like, I'm with me. So everyone at the table was for Mary. right?
Yeah, but they were starting to turn a little bit. Remember when? Yeah, so are you getting into that?
Yeah.
Okay, go.
Okay. So, but they started to turn on Mary because we never seen Mary snap.
No.
We always seen this Zen
Cool,
Mary.
calm, and collected.
So they was like, oh, wait, whoa.
Like, well, you're being a little mean.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not giving her a chance.
Exactly. Right. And she was throwing out grenades at so when Jen comes.
Because let's be honest, she did say, hey, speak about how you feel. That was the whole theme of the lunch.
And she said, no one will interrupt you. She said that.
So that confirms more the setup of being like, hey, if you really cared about people, everyone telling.
Yeah.
That's what you could tell, like, as each person spoke, she's like, yeah, shut up. Let's get to Jen. I was like, okay, enough of your bullshit. All right. Jen, what do you have to say to me? Thank you.
Well, swing. Whitney, you're swinging. Lisa,
cool.
You.
What do you have to say?
Jen, yes, sir.
Yeah. So that was that. Yeah. Anyway, go back to what you were saying.
Okay.
I just felt like, she was losing them because there was this setup mentality.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
And she had a chink in her armor. It was like a little, but Jim brought it out of her.
Yeah.
So when they come back, Jim was like, "Are you gonna let me talk?"
Mm-hmm.
Right. Mm-hmm. And then Mary simply asked her, "Why do you hate me? Why are you coming towards? Why are you addressing me?
Yeah.
Right. Why you hate me?" And then she's like, "Are you gonna let me talk?" And then Whitney, beautiful Whitney, goddamn Whitney Rose. Sometimes you just need to sit out.
Stock goes up.
Yeah, stock goes up, but it went down at this table. Because I get what Mary is saying.
Yeah.
You're not, and she's like, yo, hold on. She's talking over Mary, and Mary's like telling Mary how she feels towards the situation. And Mary's like, wait, you can't tell me how I feel. You're 30. By the way, I did not know Whitney was 30. Does she look older? But we'll talk about that.
You don't say that. Should we take that out? Whitney, you just lost
I didn't know she was 30 though. God, I think she's beautiful.
I think she's like early 30s.
Early 30s?
Yeah. She said she was 30, but she was wrong. I remember seeing something about it. I think she's like 32 or something like that.
She was like, yeah, I am 30, but y'all at the table acting 10.
That was a good diss too.
That was a good diss. I was like, okay, all right, Whitney with a little, okay. But
spice.
Yeah. So she's like going around, and Heather was like, yo, let's come on, can we fix the situation? Yeah. By the way, I love how Meredith sat back. I love how Lisa sat back. Right? That's what you do. Just sit back, let these two women dish it out. Mm-hmm. Now, Heather, she called Heather Two-Face.
And so she comes back in.
She comes back in. And, you know, Jen is explaining, like, why she said what she said.
Yeah.
And Mary's not hearing it. She's like, why do you hate me so much?
Right.
I mean, she's asking her that question. And then Whitney tried to, like, talk for Mary.
Yeah.
And then they got into it.
Mm-hmm.
Then Jen tries to come back. And now everyone's getting this bullet. Everyone's getting these shots.
Yeah.
Right? So Heather says a comment, and Mary was like, yo, you know, you're Two-Face. I don't know what size of faces we're dealing with right now. She's like, what? Yeah, you're Two-Face. I don't know which person I'm dealing with.
Right.
Which is, in this situation, that's fair.
Because Heather can be a little bit friend to all, enemy to none, a little bit, which is fine. But at the same time, you know that, like, whenever you're hanging out with Heather, she's just going to feed you kind of what you need to hear, what you want to hear. So you tend to not really know if you're getting the truth or not. You feel like you're kind of getting, like, just whatever you want to hear in the moment. Like, hey, it's okay, you're great, you know. So I could see a little bit of that. I think it's a little bit immature to say something like that, because she is just trying to be a good friend. But when I understand that, like, when you're in that moment, you're picking sides.
Here's the thing: when women argue, anyone argue. And when you like that kind of, it's so much intense. Yeah. It's an intense setting.
Yeah.
And it's very intimate. Like, it's just only you women at the restaurant, and everyone is attacking each other. Well, not even attacking. Like, the bullet is meant for Jen.
Yeah.
But Jen is not accepting the bullet. So Mary's trying to kill her off.
Right.
But now she sees that Jen hopping on her side. Now she sees Whitney's button in. So now she's thinking like, all you ladies can get it. You see
and she's feeling the room turn.
She's starting.
That's the main problem.
Exactly. So they're trying to like take up.
She felt like she had a control.
Yep.
And then Whitney chimes in and says, "Hey, you need to chill out." And then Lisa even said, "I don't like this feeling." Yeah. And then Meredith's like, everyone's kind of turning on Mary a little bit, and Mary's kind of seeing that, and so she's, instead of calming down and trying to turn everyone back, she starts firing at everyone. And it's like, that's the fastest way to get everyone against you quick.
Well, then, exactly. Then when she was backed up in the corner, she was like, you know what? I don't want to deal with this because Walter is getting upset.
Walter, dude. First of all, Walter is a name. Walter is not a name. Okay? That's a science fiction character. That guy, and first of all, another thing I want to say, why were those guys just sitting behind the table 3 feet just staring at the woman as they were fighting the whole time? Did you notice? Like, they were like guards, just like and the crazy hair. The guy looked like he was Albert Einstein. He's just like,
I thought that
he was
was
staring the whole time. And he's like, don't, Walter is getting upset. And then Jen's like, don't act like I don't know Walter.
Yeah, exactly.
He was like, we all know Walter. Walter's cool with all of us.
I thought that was Rick from Rick and Morty.
He was wild.
A character. Yeah.
What a character.
Yeah. He was just sitting there and
He's just kind of like,
the
I
producers
just took an edible. I don't even know what the fuck's going on.
I was like, who are you again?
He's like, oh shit, what? Why are these cameras here? Walter, dude.
That's so funny. Well, also then she called her a hoodlum. Now, and I don't want to. We can talk about this because in my work field, I'm around like a lot of Caucasian people.
Sure.
Right, and it's me and another black guy. Right, so I get what Mary was saying when she said, why did I know we're skipping over scenes, but I just want to set the viewers up to what Mary and Jen like tension is.
Yeah,
when you have two black women or two black people anyway, and you kind of like are jealous when one is getting too much attention, or when it's like the one is showing like a favorite in the group. And you're like, damn, I'm just a regular person. It doesn't feel right. So you kind of have like a little, I wouldn't say jealousy, but I would say
it's a competition.
It's a competition.
Interesting.
Yes. So
you feel that way, like,
because Mary felt it as well. She said it
right.
like when Heather and Mary like had that conversation.
That's
she brought
true.
it up, and Heather didn't understand, but I kind of understand what Mary was saying,
especially in like Utah and like Mormon land, where like it's very white.
It's very white.
So you probably feel alone anyways.
So when Jen was like, I wanted her to be my friend. I wanted her to like you know another black person with money in Utah. You felt but if you have this group and this group is like showing up to a church, being friends with her at the party.
So do you feel like they were fighting for the group's attention?
I think so.
Like that was kind of like a part of what was going on in that moment was like each of them felt like they were losing the attention of the group, and there was like only one person of color could have it, kind of thing.
Well, I think that I can't say that for Mary, and I know I'm not trying to take sides, but I can't say that. But if you could just tell by Jen's reactions, right? And I don't know their history before the show, but also I can just take in what they're showing us, and I can just see that Jen. I mean, Mary was zen, and they're little. Just because you said someone smelled like hospital, right? And your comment is like, yo, she fucked your grandfather. And then Heather said they're even. That's definitely not even. You remember when Heather, like, yo, it's even. It's definitely not even. If I say like, hey, bro, you smell like hospital. And he's like, okay, cool. That's why, you're having sex with your grandmother. That's kind of, that's a personal.
It's a big jump.
Yes,
it's a big jump.
So I get, so the outside looking in, she doesn't understand.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? So I think that Mary had every, like, she had every, the word I'm looking for. She had every
reason.
Every reason to just ask her that question, like, why you hate me so much?
Yeah.
And honestly, to this day, do you understand why Jen hates her?
I think that so this is getting into some stuff later, but what I think is going on before we get into what happens later in more depth, I think what's going on is that she wanted to be friends with Mary. Mary didn't really show interest in that. She was offended by that. And then from there on, it's been kind of war in Jen's mind a little bit. Or like, who's going to break first? Or who's going to say some shit? So I think back in the day, what happened was like she saw someone who wasn't white. And it's like, oh, we probably have similar stories, probably similar struggles in this community that's like not super supportive of black people over lots of time. We can be best friends and kind of commiserate and help each other. I think she got like, I don't want any part of that from Mary. And so then every little thing that Mary does can set her off. So I think the comment about it smells like hospital in here is offensive to her. But if Heather would have said it, it would have been like that was fucked up. Why did you say that? But because it's Mary, there's a lot more tied to that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I think it's the fact that like she even talks about it. I thought we were going to be friends. And so I think that she feels really offended by everything Mary does because of that.
Do you think Mary really didn't accept her because she's not really black?
You know what? I'm a white dude, so I can't speak into what that must be like. But there probably could have. Yeah, I'm sure that's a thing. Like you don't know the struggle exactly. Yeah, I'm sure there's so much of that. Who knows? There could be a million reasons why. Mm-hmm. Maybe she felt judged by Jen because of the marriage thing. There could be a million different reasons why. Mm-hmm. It could be what you were talking about, the competition. Like, I want to be the only one in this group.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Whatever it is, like either way, she didn't have the same mentality
No.
of like, we'll be sisters in this together.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, no, there's me,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm an island.
Mm-hmm.
So I really think that like what started off as just beef, now we're seeing that there's so much more.
It's layers.
There's so many more layers, and as we continue on, and we'll talk more because obviously there's more conversations that happen. There's more that opens up, and you're like, holy shit, that's intense, you know. So, also, I wanted to ask you about this. When Jen was fighting with Mary, and then remember she made the comment about the 7-Eleven?
Yes.
That was kind of intense.
Yes. She's like, when you see, well, also Mary, again, the Mary lived a different lifestyle from Jen, and Mary, it's from my lifestyle, right? So if Mary seen me in front of a 7-Eleven, she'll go to a different 7-Eleven.
Sure.
Correct. And I know other black people who think like that.
Sure.
Like they don't trust because of the history and you know, the violence that in front of the convenience stores and stuff like that. But
sure.
I mean, check the statistics. Every nationality rob a convenience store.
Yeah, like if there's some sketchy looking person in front of the whatever color,
yeah,
it might be a sketchy situation. But
the you know the mascot.
Yeah,
for
the mascot,
robbing,
absolutely.
You know, are black guys. So when she said that and Mary admitted like, yo, I don't like hospitals. And if I see like, it kind of like, you know, I was like, damn, Mary, you know?
Right.
But again, you have to understand Mary lived in Salt Lake. It's not other people. So of course what you see on TV, movies or stuff like that, we're portrayed as these violent guys.
Yes.
So that's all she knows. So if you see this over and over and over again, but you don't grow up around black people, you get that stigma of like, okay, this is what they do in movies. I'm not trusting it.
Yeah.
I'm not taking that risk. So again, I see what Mary, was it right? No. But do you understand it? Yes. Yeah. So when Jen said, with a woman, I can't put myself in a woman's shoes. So when a woman hear that, she was like, oh my God, I have sons that are black. Right. You know, so it's very, my husband is black. So she took that personally, and I understood what Jen was saying, like, yo, that's effed up. Yeah. But the fact that Jen brought it up in a group set in a luncheon, and you've been holding on this to months. You was drunk. You could have said that at the 1920 party.
Dude, that was
instead
heavy.
of that
she
comment.
Dropped that like that.
So now the whole.
Now you're just solidifying the fact that you guys are enemies.
Yes.
Like solidifying.
That's it. And now that's like, honestly, to me, that's worse than the 1920 party comment. Oh yeah. Because now if you see at the table, everyone just sat back like, oh shit. Yeah. We don't, because it's not their fight. Now it's just like the colorism thing. And that's what I was telling you about. But I think that was wrong place, wrong time. Yeah. And Jen, we know
she was
Jen.
Heaping. She was heaping on. She was like, let me just see how many darts I can throw at this board.
And that's it. So Jen is just like, you want to play that game? Because this is the same person that leaked Meredith information about her being split from her husband. And that's so messed up. So anything, you say anything to Jen, she going to let it rip. Mm-hmm. But,
and she ran with that shit because, so we saw Mary lose control. We saw Mary lose control of the room. Everyone kind of turned on Mary, and you could definitely tell, at least in their minds. They turned on Mary, and then when Jen leaves, right? Jen's blowing kisses to everyone. Basically, as a signal to Mary being like, they're on my side, by the way. Remember? She's like, bye, everyone, love you. Oh, but the first time she left, she didn't.
Nope.
Because she felt like everyone was against her. Mm-hmm. Then by the end, she realized, Mary, you fucked up. Yeah. This is my crowd now.
Well, I think
she's going, bye, I love you, Whitney, have a great night. Oh, Meredith, oh, everyone, bye, have a great night. And you could tell that, like, then Mary goes, I lost them. I felt like the table turned.
I think honestly the table is in the middle.
Okay.
Honestly, I think that. Because if you walk away, Lisa said the comments and all that was so messed up. Would have never said that. So she's kind of on Meredith's side.
Okay.
Mary's
Maybe
side.
it's not quite as intense.
I think it's in the middle.
Okay.
But the fact that if Jen didn't say that comment to like ease back, because maybe they're thinking what I'm thinking. Like, damn, you have to drop it like that. Yeah. And then they probably like, oh, Mary, good God, Yeah. So it's split. Yeah. I think it's split down the middle. Like some can be for Mary, some can be for Jen. But either regardless, Mary had him, Mary lost him. Jen didn't have him, and then she kind of gained him at the end. But I think it's just split down the middle.
Got it.
Like they don't know who to go with.
Yeah.
Like they're both still my friends, but at the same time, these women are crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So, so any church invites, yeah, be some advice. Anyone that really going to go to a church, we're going to hold off this week. You know what I mean? They were volunteering. I'll take it. So now
it definitely felt like it was like, okay.
Yeah.
By the way, did you notice that at the very end, Meredith wasn't there?
She left.
Did she leave?
Wait, hold on. At the table?
At the table. Did she end up leaving?
Nah, I ain't see that.
Because at the end, there was no one in between.
She paid for the check?
I don't know. There was no one in between Mary and Whitney.
Whitney. Oh.
So she peaced out. Maybe she was just like, I got my apology. I'm out of here.
Yeah. All right. Walter, can you go get my car?
Walter. Yes, I will do so. Yeah, he was. I want a shirt with Walter on it, dude. What a bizarre.
I want to go to Utah. I want to go to Salt Lake and eat at Walter's.
Dude, yeah, it looked expensive. Okay. So then we flashed over to Heather's house.
3 girls.
And I love this. This dynamic was so funny to me because first off, I have a mother-in-law.
Okay.
Who reminds me of Heather. She kind of looks like Heather.
Oh.
And I have a sister-in-law.
Okay.
Who is like the same age as Heather's daughter.
Oh.
Because Heather's daughter's like teenager.
Yeah.
So Jess's sister is a teenager, or is a teenager.
Congratulations.
So she literally, that whole dynamic was making me laugh because then the boyfriend cruises in
with his loud race car,
with his just little his Ford. He like pulls up on the curb. Do you see that?
Mountain, yeah.
What a move!
She was like, "I heard your car from outside. From inside."
I just love that. He saw the cameras. And he's like, "Watch this." He pulls up on the curb.
And
then he gets out. And he gives the girlfriend like.
Not a hug,
like
the hug,
the hug. Like it was. It was a move.
I understand Mormons not supposed to do this, but look, let me lift her up and show her. Hey, that was cold for me and you.
That was bro. By the way, anyone on Bravo, don't come at my girl.
Don't come at my girl.
The DMs are closed.
Gee, I'm hitting that. That's basically what he's saying.
He picked her up and was like kissing her neck.
Bro, picked her up.
And how old is he? Like 15?
It doesn't matter. Acne all over his face. But guess what?
It was a signal.
That's not the only thing that's popping.
And then he comes in and he leans up against the counter and he looks at Heather and he goes, Sup.
She was like, "Oh, I trust him." It's Mormon.
Like young and in love. And he's like,
"Yeah, all right.
Sup." Anyway, where's my food at? Like he had this attitude of just like, "What's up, man?" Like, you see my new TikTok.
He was high. Let's just get it.
He was high. And he's like, "Dude, your daughter's hot."
He was high.
Anyway, you want to hop in my car, babe? Your mom's a loser. See you, nerds. Like it was totally that vibe. And then the other character I loved was the younger sister.
Why?
Because you could tell that she was like, I get the sense that she's like gonna like. She just had this very smart vibe to her, and she's sitting there just quietly sitting there, and then the mom goes, "Well, I'm gonna be out late tonight, guys. So if you don't want to go to church, we don't have to." And then the younger sister's clearly like, "I ain't buying this church business. I'm way too smart for this."
Yep.
Yeah. If you're not going, I don't see any reason for us to go. I
love
think that's
that
a
line.
good idea for us to just maybe hold off this time.
She stumped Heather. She stumped. She's like, "Oh, yeah."
She's like, "Oh, I guess you're right." Okay, yeah. That was so funny to me because she just seemed like, I'm smart for all these people. Like, I don't believe in God. Are you kidding me? I believe in science. Get rid of this. Like, this is insane. Like, she just seemed like the smart one of the group that's just already got it all figured out.
Mm-hmm. I love her.
Yeah, she was classic. She was so funny to me.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I do like, though, okay, I will say this. I like the fact that Heather gave her daughters, like, respect to do what they want to do. Like,
because she didn't have it.
Yeah, and so I felt like there was this level of, like, she learned from her life. And a lot of people repeat the
same
problems that they grew up with, but she's not. She's kind of going, hey, I married for religion. I did all these things for my religion. I don't want to be that person. She's letting her daughter have this boyfriend. She's letting her other daughter speak how she wants to speak and not go to church. Like, I just felt like she's giving her daughters, like, respect and kind of this idea of, like, you can make your own decisions a little bit. I thought that was cool. I felt like it'll teach them to grow up and, like, figure their life out. I liked that about it. Everyone else is kind of weird with their kids. I feel like everyone else is kind of like overly either like too hands off or they're too on it or whatever. But I did feel like she was just like friends with her kids, and that was kind of cool. I respected it.
That's great. I think
especially as a single mom.
Listen, that mother and daughter relationship is so dynamic. Yeah. Like it's either a lot of fights, a lot of arguments, a lot of loving, a lot of talks. It's like you really. It's a very special thing that like on the outside looking in, because I have three sisters and a mom.
Oh, really?
And and just to see how these women, just like different characters, different personalities, and it's just the fact that their relationship is so dynamic.
So I just felt like it looked like she was a really good mom.
Oh,
I liked 100%.
That.
You know what I mean?
You could just tell like how she treats her friends. You know, so she's a great person. I like her, even though she's just like
she can be desperate.
Yes,
but she's still a good person.
Yes,
you know what I mean. Like she's the only one that just really seems like a very normal person. That like if we ran into Heather tomorrow, would just be a great conversation.
I love.
She'd be sweet.
She wouldn't care about.
There'd be no weird vibes. Yeah, you know.
100%.
Okay.
All right, where we at?
Meredith picking up her husband.
Oh,
at the airport.
From the airport.
Oof.
In the SUV.
Rough.
You want to just so he's a nerdy guy. He's excited to see his girl. Like, should I sit in the back and like a date?
Yeah. Cringe.
Yeah. And they're having this conversation, and I've been in a situation where when a woman is fed up, when a woman is done, you try to do everything a possibility. Coming from a man's standpoint, we never think the end of the race, like the race is like have finished, like it ended, until we see you with another guy.
Right.
So
there's
until then,
it's
always like I got her. You know. And women, of course, she can be like dating this guy that he doesn't even know about. But the fact that it's like I'm never gonna quit. I'm gonna keep going. And he lives in Ohio. Okay,
he splits time, right? The business is in Ohio.
Yes. And he's a trap. Listen, I love the pictures. They show like flashback pictures. They've been through a lot.
25 years, right?
25 years,
a long time.
And he asked her. He was like, "Yo, would you move to Ohio?" He's like, "Well, you wouldn't? Isn't I'm
yeah.
Like, yo, what's going on?" She was like, "No, like," and I get it. Meredith trying to like start her own thing out here. Sure. She got like all her business. Like I seen on Instagram the other day. I follow her. She got a clothing line. I love it. And her and her daughter modeling her clothes. I love that.
Killing it.
But I think that, and I wouldn't say desperation. I think that he's on his like he's trying to do everything to get. All he wanted his wife back. 25 years. That's a long time. I'm 27.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I mean,
right. Your whole life they've been married.
My whole life they've been goddamn.
Yeah.
So I think that dynamic is like him. I want when sometimes a woman leaving makes you appreciate her more.
Sure, of course.
You know, when you're around all the time, you think you take things for granted.
I think it works the opposite for women.
What do you mean?
I think if you're in front of them long enough, it works better. If you leave, I think they'll be like, I could do better. I think with guys, it's the opposite.
Yeah.
If you're always in front of them, there's like a bit of like, take you for granted.
Yeah. But as far as women.
I think women kind of realize the bullshit quicker.
Well, I think that, thank you for
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So that's how I'm thinking. Like, yo, if she leaves, if she's around me all the time, I'm like, oh my God, this girl again. You know, I need my space.
You need your space.
And
then you leave for a week and you're like, oh man, I miss her.
And
then she's like, wait a second, this guy's not been treating me good.
I
got a break.
You got a break.
So I really do feel like it works opposite. So they're in the car. They're talking.
Go ahead.
When it came to Seth, I felt the first time that I saw them at that dinner, remember they were at their dinner and they were talking about their relationship? At first I thought, wow, Meredith is really cold. She's really not empathetic. She's kind of rude to him. Remember, he's like, why won't you show me your phone? And she's like, that's none of your business. So I thought he was really wanting the relationship to work. I thought she was being cold. Now that I've seen this episode, I'm realizing I'm Team Meredith all the way. I think he's manipulative. I think he plays games to like manipulate her and to get her to like feel bad for the way she feels. I think he's wanting his cake and eating it too. He wants everything. He wants you, because remember what she said? She said, I've moved like every 2 years to follow your career.
Yes.
I've uprooted my family like 10 times.
Yes.
So that you could do whatever you want to do. For the first time, like I have my own business. I'm running my own life. My kids have their life and their friends and this whole thing. And you want to uproot us again just because you're switching places. And it's like, no. And he's making her feel bad about that. And I'm going like, dude, like, she has a life too. She's a human being who has desires and wants to do things and has a business. And he goes, and this is when I knew it was over, not the relationship, but I knew that I wasn't a fan of him, is he goes, I would move anywhere for you. And she goes, oh, really? Well, my business is in Salt Lake City. And he's like, like he got called out immediately on it. And I just felt like, and he was being manipulative. Like he was being like, don't you love me? Don't you support me? Isn't it about living with me and all this stuff? And she's like, yeah, but you're the one that decided to like move the business somewhere else. Mm-hmm. So I just felt like he was playing games. He was trying to make her feel bad for not wanting to uproot everything again just to follow him to Canton, Ohio.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that was rude. Like for me, it was like, no, man, you need to like ask her if she would do this favor for you. Mm-hmm. I'm so sorry this is happening. What can we work out? But instead, he made her feel bad. And I just was like, dude, that's the wrong move.
He doesn't understand how to compromise.
He doesn't understand that like he's asking too much.
Asking for too much. This girl got her own thing going on.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, and also, by the way, dude, she's on the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Have you ever thought about that?
Currently the best one out. Right
the best one.
In my opinion.
Think about it. She's on this huge show. She has her own shop. Her kids have friends. And now you want her to change again. So she'd have to cut her contract with the show. She'd have to end her business.
He wasn't serious.
No, I think he was dead serious. I think that he can't be a selfish dude. I think he's like expecting, well, I've done this 5 times already. I've already asked you. You've moved every time I've asked you to move. And now she's like, I've had enough.
Evan, he can't be that tone deaf.
I think he is.
He has cameras in front of him. This girl has her own. Stop it.
So what do you think he was doing then?
Just trying to test it. You know, it's always, you know how you fish and you throw out bait. And sometimes the first day on bite. But
dude, think about the later conversation they have. That was serious as hell.
Oh shit, can we talk about it?
Let's work our way through this. Shit, so yeah, and my thing was like, yeah, his business is bigger, but uprooting your life is brutal. Yeah. Brutal. Especially if you've got this new contract with the show, you built this life, you finally got, been a couple years, you did it for him for the 5th time, and he can't just stay for one time. Now it's about him again. Mm-hmm. I understand he's trying to build a business, but at the same time, there is a level of like, what's more important to you, your family or your business? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. If you're too obsessed with your business growing, there's going to be sacrifices.
Yeah, everything comes with a sacrifice.
So he's, in my opinion, he's making the choice for the business at this point. He's kind of saying like,
clearly,
all I really care about is this business growing, and I love you a lot, but I'm willing to put this on the line. Well, but instead of making it that obvious, he's making her feel bad about it. And I think that's bullshit.
And that's not. And I love Meredith. She looked good, by the way.
She is looking good. Man, what happened? Like she was looking good before, but I feel like something happened.
It's like her and Lisa look like they're identical.
Do you feel like maybe she's seeing the end is near, and so she's kind of like prepping herself for like dating?
Yeah, 100%.
I think she's. Dude, at some point by the end of this, you're gonna be just open for all the ladies. They're all gonna just be available. If you're like, hey, by the way, anyone who's maybe like taking a season off, like I'm around.
Any housewife.
Okay, let's jump over to the Mary and Jen conversations that they were flipping back and forth on
with the husbands.
Yeah.
I love Jen's husband. His talk.
I felt like I was fired up to go play.
Bro, I felt like he was talking to me.
I was like, put me in. Let's go.
Let's tag me in, coach.
Are we defense or offense? What are we doing right now? Like he talked to her 100% like a coach. Like he was talking to a player on the field.
He was like, yo, you're up here. I was like, yeah, I am up here. Because I was feeling a little low.
He's like, I want you to get down in a 3-point stance.
Oh, my God. And I was down. Okay. No, the conversation, by the way.
I was doing 10 push-ups.
You did?
I was just watching the show. I was like, oh, shit, I'm just watching the show.
Bro, what am I doing in my life?
Yeah. I was like, all right. So what did you feel about this?
It was different narratives. Of course, we have Mary in her Missy Elliott 1990s fit with the silver one, platinum.
Dude, the outfit was straight out of a Missy Elliott video.
Yes, and she was too lazy to get her food, so she called her in-house nurse.
First of all, she called her food her plate.
Her plate, yeah.
So she's like, has Charlinda brought me my plate? Like, and by the way, so that wasn't she was too lazy. That was like, this is what happens at my house. As a person, I go, ding. And a woman shows up like an 1800s British movie, shows up with my food.
Yes.
That blew me away. And I was like, Mary is now the richest one. Like I didn't realize she was so rich.
Are you tripping?
That's next level.
Listen, you know what kind of money you have to marry your step grandfather? Listen, so I think that.
All right,
I think that. All right, so the dynamic was Mary. Let's start off on Mary. Mary was. Talking about Jen and how she showed up and didn't apologize and how she was like not like throwing shots.
Yeah, she was tweaking.
She was thinking. She was like, I didn't want to invite her anyway.
Right.
But then she also brought up the comment, and honestly, you said it earlier. If you know what you're doing, you have to be prepared for what people are going to say about you.
Yeah, 100%.
And then, the step grandfather shit, I don't care what they say about me.
I'm loving this.
I'm like, hey, man, listen. We ain't blood, are we? I was like, oh, this voice gives shit. He got that grandpa. Nah, man, what they saying about? I don't care about it. He just.
I like how he goes, "We ain't blood, right?"
We
It's
ain't
like
blood,
that's all you got. Like that's a crazy thing to say. But yeah,
And Mary, this is the most she cried this episode because I was like, "Yo, Mary, this." She was like, "I don't even care," but she kept saying, "I don't care." As tears fall down her face, her cheeks, I was like, "Oh,
That's
she
tough.
really cares." Because at the same time, we're all humans.
Dude, we all want to be loved.
We all want to be loved. We want to be liked. We want to be loved. Just look at Heather, right? And then let's flash back. Let's flash over to Jen and her husband. She's like, "Yo, it's really rude at how this girl is like saying mean things. About like hood. Call me a hoodlum. Call me ghetto. Call me like I don't. If I go to 7-Eleven, I see black people. I'm going to a different 7-Eleven. So as a black man, he's taking all that in on the other side. By the way. And to be fair to these ladies, they're not going to leave out what they did at the party.
Right.
I didn't hear it.
Oh, no. Yeah, it was perfect. It was perfect. It's going to be all one. That's what was so beautiful about the editing was like how they basically had like opposite stories telling the opposite situation the whole time.
Great. Yeah.
It was so great. It was just like, and she did this, and then like, and she did this, but no one said what they did. So the husbands are like, wow, I'm so sorry to hear that.
So they're only getting to one side. But Coach Shop, I mean, I'm not Coach Shop, Coach Shaw. There it is, Coach Shaw.
Not Coach Schaub.
Nah, I'm on the roll with Coach Shaw. I was like, oh shit, Coach, hey Coach. Coach Shaw is taking in, and he just give her a beautiful message, a powerful, like uplifted,
emotional intelligence.
Yes.
Like, hey, here's how you handle these type of situations.
Listen, you kill her with kindness. She's like, I'm gonna kill him with kindness. She said that 3 times this season, by the way.
Yeah,
haven't seen kindness yet.
Kindness haven't seen yet, but. Kill her with violence.
Yeah, but I love how
kill her with how you actually would kill someone. I've seen that.
I love how she always asks him, "Are you busy?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm just over here." He's always
busy.
Always.
I mean, he's in Australia. He's recruiting. He's like, "Why do you have your shirt off? And what's that drink you have in your hand?" He's like, "Oh, sorry, 1 second, you
Don't
guys." Yeah, there's a team meeting here on the beach. No, but I mean, it is always like he's in the middle of practice. Yes, it always seems like he's in the middle of practice, and she's like, "Okay, what do you got for me, coach?" He's like, "Okay, cool. Number 38, I love you." You know what, man? Like, it was one of those things where I really liked this moment in the show because it really did for me like solidify how much these ladies were going through. So if you look at the whole cast, there's no question that Jen and Mary are the most like wild. They say the most wild shit. They do the most wild shit. They have the craziest backstories.
Because they're black, Evan?
Well, no. No, it's just like they do the craziest shit. Everyone else is kind of a little bit more like, oh, I do events, and the other person's like, oh, I work at like a doctor's office, and then but these ladies like one's a pastor, and then the other one like says wild things at a party, whatever. So I feel like they've been categorized as just the crazy ones of the show. But up until at least I felt that way. I always felt like they're just so wild. But up until this moment, I went, whoa, like we're seeing 2 women who need each other.
What?
Like they're 2 women who need each other. Like they need to love each other and they need to be there for each other. But instead they're like trying to be enemies. And I was kind of like, man, you have Mary who has this crazy situation where she's married to her step grandfather. She has her, grandmother's inheritance and she's living this like bizarre life that she didn't even want or know about, but like someone
19.
gave to her. Yeah. So that's already like traumatic, right? Then you got Jen, who's super sensitive and like really wants people to love her and really wants to be respected and all these things.
Dad just passed away recently.
And she's feeling like, oh, there's this other person of color that I might be able to connect with and might be able to be like a friend to me amongst all these white people in a cult, basically.
Well, Mary didn't want to do that.
And so she's feeling like, oh, I could be friends with her. And Mary feels like this person judges me because of my lifestyle.
Allegedly.
But let's be honest. It was confirmed at the party when she says, you're going to hang out with this grandpa motherfucker. You know what I mean? Right. So both of them just want to be respected by each other, but instead they both attack each other. And I just feel like it's sad that like they've been put in this position, but they really just want the same thing, which is like to be loved. They just want to be accepted and loved by each other, but they're too proud and they're too like intense to just put your guard down and say, hey, I'm sorry for the comments I made. I'm sorry, whatever happened, let's put it behind us and let's move on.
Well, you gotta understand, Mary did that to Jen when she at the party when they were talking about the dress.
Sure.
And she did like, girl, I would never be ready. You got a nice dress on. I apologize if I said that. You forgot about that.
I will. Yeah, I
But
will
it was
say,
just
but,
like
but it didn't. It was
yeah.
okay.
It was okay.
It did feel a little bit
Rush.
like here's some dog food for you. It just didn't feel like super honest. It felt a little bit like I'm over this conversation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It didn't feel honest, and I think that Jen felt that way. I think Jen noticed like you're just telling me this so you could put it behind you. So I think they both are in the wrong, but I also think that like it's sad what they're going through, and I think they're both feeling lonely because like the group keeps sliding.
Yeah.
Right, they feel like they keep losing the group and then get the group and then lose the group. So I think they're
like air hockey.
they feel like it feels like it's them versus them for the group. Which like if they loved on each other, then they would have each other and it didn't matter with the group. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So do I love how wild they get? Yes, but do I
Great
kind of feel
content.
sad about what they're going through? It is kind of rough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We need that kind of content because man, Whitney's line is boring. Oh my God, can we talk about her storyline?
Well,
I said it.
Let's get over to jujitsu.
Her and her brother. Go ahead. Just take over.
No,
I fell asleep. I don't know too much.
I fell asleep. It was also kind of like, I hate to say it was a little uncomfortable, like watching her mount her brother.
Yeah.
In like,
it was so weird.
it was just a little weird.
He kept like, yo, you got a talent for this. I don't know why you should come over. You should come over
be
more.
here every day.
What the?
So okay, I'm just gonna leave that there. A little bit of a weird comment. But I do feel like Whitney is still the queen. She keeps surprising me.
Oh yeah.
When you first see Whitney, she's kind of this like, I'm blonde, hot, like kind of I don't know anything. She kind of her voice is high, so she kind of sounds like she's
30.
Dumb blonde. But dude, she's got her shit together.
Mm-hmm.
She's paying for her dad's rehab. She works out like 5 days a week. She's doing jujitsu. She's doing the pole. She's doing workouts. She's doing all this, and she's killing it.
She's 30.
Yeah, and so I feel like she's got her shit together. She's like intelligent. And I felt like you saw that when she was doing the jujitsu with her brother. Like she's there talking about her dad, telling about what my dad needs. I'm going to take care of him, blah, blah, blah. I'm bringing him back here. I'm hooking him up with a halfway house. Like she's got, I don't know. She's impressive to me.
No, 100%. She has her shit together.
She has her shit together.
That's a great comment about her. Now, her storyline could be better.
It's lacking in wildness.
Yes. And I thought we was going somewhere with her always being on the pole. The swinger situation.
First of all, did you see the preview for the next
week? Yes, I did.
Okay, so I think we're gonna jump back into the wildness.
All right, because I was like, "What's going on?"
Doing shots off the stomach.
Yes. She had to wait till her dad go back in rehab. So I'm about to wild out.
She's like, I gotta rip this up.
Rip it up because he only got a couple of months in there. I need to go all out.
And like, she definitely is keeping it all together so that she can go crazy.
Okay, there it is.
That's what it feels like.
Exactly. It's so crazy how he's taking her daddy to a crazy house and she about to go crazy. That's so funny.
Crazy house to crazy time.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I love that. All right.
Okay, Lisa kids party.
Again, that was
awkward.
Yeah, that was awkward. Like for one, I love how it was. I love kids dancing. I love it. And then the fact that I had to witness that in the middle of my drama, I'm pissed off. I'm all for kids do the TikTok, the whip it, whatever.
Right.
All that. But to see him just do that goddamn dance, I was like, Lisa, get your goddamn son. But I know we're not talking
Did you see when he bowled, he like got a strike or something, and he's like, yeah! And then he starts like, his friends are sitting there, and he's like throwing punches at their face. He's like,
on the hands?
And the kids are like, and he's like way too aggressive. And the mom's like, can we chill out? Like, chill out, little boy. Like, she doesn't even know her son's name. She's like, Kevin or Brian or whatever. Stop.
The dude who eat Taco Bell. Calm down.
Yeah. And then, the guy. So then, did you notice she goes, this is the one time of year when my kids have my attention.
Yeah.
So I want to spoil them. I was like,
2 birthdays.
Their birthdays is the only time your kids get your attention?
That's it.
And I was like, that's dark.
I like that. That's a woman who has a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, but your poor kids.
That's what the dad is for. That's why you could tell when they had their conversation, Lisa and their dad. The guy doesn't look like he wants to be there at all.
Dude, he's got that just like totally.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like he's on Xannies or something. He's half asleep, dude.
Lisa beat him down over the years.
Lisa's trained him. As we talked about, he's trained. He has no willpower.
At all.
She's just way too powerful.
He shuts down. Yeah.
let's talk about this.
Uh-huh.
Two things. Number one is, so Lisa is talking about Meredith because they're like best friends about, sorry, Lisa is talking to her husband about Meredith, being like, yeah, you know, marriages go through tough times, blah, blah, blah. And she's talking about her husband like a business proposal. She's like, yes, and me and my husband, we have a great relationship. We have a great foundation. We both love family. We both love values, and the church helps us build those values. And I was like, did you just describe your husband, or did you describe like a new business that you opened up? Like there was no love in it. There was no like, oh, I love him because he's funny and he's charismatic and he's driven and he's sexy. Like it was just like, I think he has good values, and I like that he likes family. Mm-hmm. So it was just kind of awkward.
You know how like when you had a car salesman.
Yeah.
He's like, yo, man, this the new car right here. Let me just tell you something. It's electric.
Yeah.
Right. It goes from 0 to 60 in 3 seconds.
Right.
Okay. Listen, you will not run out of gas. Okay. Look at look at the horsepower.
Right.
Look at the back seat. It's what you used to cloth seats. Right. Hell no. These are Latin seats, satin seats.
Let's go. Latin satin, baby.
There it is right there. Look at the dashboard, wood grain. Right. And he's like, oh my God. Okay, cool. But you never say this car is loving. I had this car. His memories with this car. This car, my grandfather gave me this, so I wanted to bring. You know what I mean? So I didn't get anything from that.
Nothing.
I didn't get. I was like, ugh. She looks at him like
a business.
Like a
it
business.
was like we started this business together.
Yeah.
And it's been going great. And we have a good foundation.
Exactly.
It wasn't like I love this guy. It was just like. And then let's talk about what really matters to you, Malik. Remember what she said about the Rollie?
Oh, she throws his Rolex.
She's like, we've gotten into fights so much that I threw his Rolex out the window. And when I heard that, I thought,
I hope everyone
Malik,
thought of me.
I thought, well, no, I said, is Malik okay? Because he's blacking out with like rage and PTSD right now.
I rewinded that
I'm like,
part.
this guy has a Rolex, and he lives for this. This Rolex is his life, and I'm kind of going, if his girl, the 6-figure queen, threw that Rolex out the window, I mean.
Another one better be replaced literally as soon as that one hit the ground.
If that's not replaced, you're replaced. If the Rolex gets thrown and it's not replaced, you're replaced. And that's what we live by.
That's what we live by. Yo, listen, it's crazy because I was watching it with her, and she looked at me, and I looked at her, and she started busting. She burst out laughing. The 6 feet. She was like, "Man, I would never." I was like, "I know you won't."
You're like, you better not.
I really had. I couldn't go to sleep that night.
Yeah.
She literally says, "Yeah," and I get mad. I just throw his Rolex out the window. But that's the life. She took his life. It was no fight. He go, yeah.
He's like, yeah, that's funny.
He was probably behind the scenes when she was saying it. Like, oh yeah, I remember those times.
Like the worst day of my life. Rolex, the only thing I love in this world. But and then remember what she was talking about? How according to the Mormon faith, that you don't get married for life, you get married for eternity.
Yeah. So that's that. Even the afterlife.
And I thought, I love Jess.
You love Jess,
but eternity, dude.
What do you mean?
That's a long time.
You trying to get somebody a different?
Well, I'm just saying. After like 5,000 years, I'm gonna be like, hey, like.
Yeah, I see other people.
Do you want to date anybody else? Like, are we sick of each other at 5,000 years? Like, I'm like, we have a million years. Like, we have billions and trillions of years. Like, we can always get back together. Do we need to take a break for a week or something? Like, that's a long time.
A week might be a long time for her. You didn't even think about that. After 5,000 years, come on, man.
That's true.
Come on, man.
Maybe I'm being selfish.
You're being selfish right now.
I'm sorry.
She didn't throw a Rolex out of your window. She didn't think no.
But I'm feeling like 1,000%. If we're 1,000 years into our marriage, she's gonna throw the Rollie out the window at some point.
Yeah, but she should go with it. She should catch it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. 1,000 years in, we're going to be like, can we take a break?
Even at the afterlife.
That's what I'm saying. Married for eternity. That's wild.
That is a long time.
Okay. So that was a weird party. Also felt weird that she was just kind of like, you know, I throw his Rolex out. I'm like, if this was my relationship, it would have been like, you know, Jess would have thrown out my Forever 21 t-shirt because I don't have a Rolex. You know what I mean? So I feel like these people are like, oh, mansions and all this. I was like, if I was on The Real Housewives, they'd be like, and I threw out his Forever 21 shirt, and he was devastated because I don't have nice things like a Rolex, dude. You're balling.
Well, hold on. That shirt was meaningful to you, right?
With that $5.99 shirt,
yeah, memory. You created memories.
It messed me up. You know what I mean?
You created memories in that shirt.
Whitney then takes her dad to sober living. Another win for Whitney. I mean, not drama, but man, just. I feel like for you, it's just another tick in the box of marriage.
All right. Well, here's the thing. She took him, and she's so great to look at. Her voice is very, passionate and kind of loud. But her storyline, again, her dad haircuts. He's just, who's giving her? And then I see her on the after show, Andy Cohen, and she has this like black and white wig on. I'm like, oh, she's trying to look like her father. So
I didn't see the after show.
Oh,
It's like,
you gotta watch it.
it's like, see ya.
Yeah, see, yes,
You know
yes,
what I mean?
just like that.
Yeah.
I was like, oh,
The
who's
chandelier.
just like that. See, so stupid. So, yeah, I mean, it's not. Congratulations
Yeah.
for her, and also congratulations to her dad to just stepping up and
Yeah.
doing it. So I give him. I applaud.
It was
him.
heavy.
Yeah,
It was heavy.
The whole trip there in that truck, just like, and I never, did drugs or drunk,
Yeah.
so I wouldn't know. But anytime you get help and you understand you need help,
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
So that's all I have to say about that.
Good to go for him. Okay. Meredith and Seth in the bedroom.
Go ahead and take it away, because I don't know. I never been married. You've been married. Go ahead and take it away.
Well, first of all, it was kind of a real, very intense situation. You've never been married, but you know what it's like to be in a relationship and have a conversation like that. My thing was like, he was manipulative again, because he walks out of the bedroom and she's like, are you leaving? And he goes, yeah, I can't live this Salt Lake dream. And I was like, dude, already, like, that's so
You only been
just
here for 20
backhanded.
48 hours. You only be here.
Then she goes, yeah, well, I think it's been a lot of fighting over the past 2 weeks, so I think it'll be good for us to have a little bit of space and to think. And he goes, fine, you need your space. I'll give you your space, which is so dramatic. And then she's like, well, and he's like, maybe I should just be out of the picture and you'll be finally happy. And then she goes under her breath, she goes, well, I don't disagree. And that was when I kind of really realized, like, dude, this chick,
She's over it.
she's just done. And he is like, instead of being a man and walking up to her and be like, I love you still, I want to figure this out, what do we need to do? He's playing games. He's being all like, I guess you don't love me.
Well, it
It's
works.
just like, come on, dude.
They're
Like,
back together in real life, by the way.
oh, really?
Yeah. So everything he said. But let's talk about it. Let's talk about.
smarter than we thought.
But let's talk about this.
I just felt like it was manipulative, like kind of gaslighting. Like he was kind of just making her feel bad about feeling the way she felt instead of addressing the way she felt and being like, how do we fix this?
Well, communication is very important in every relationship.
Yeah.
So the fact that you're gonna handle a situation very immature and you didn't get your way, so you kind of pout.
It was pouty.
Yeah, yeah.
It was not like a man. And let me tell you something right now, and you know this. A woman like Meredith is attracted to a dude who nuts up.
Yeah.
The last thing Meredith is going to be attracted to is a guy who's like, I guess you don't love me.
Cornball.
So he was doing that shit, and I guarantee you it was turning her off like crazy.
Because
And
she has Brooke already. Like that's like she doesn't need
Who?
Brooke.
Wait, what?
Her son. What's her name?
Oh, sorry. I was thinking like another guy. Okay, I just think. I see what you're saying. You're saying that the son's already dramatic.
Yeah, it's already dramatic. Well, but what's his name? Brooke, right?
I don't remember what I'm spacing on his name now.
Hold on.
Is it Brooke?
Let's see. Yeah, because I was just on Instagram earlier.
But that, yeah. I just felt like, dude, she wants a man who's gonna like speak his feelings, who's gonna say like what needs to be said, who's gonna call her out on what he feels like she needs to be called out for, who's gonna man up and be like, this is what we need to work on our marriage. I'll move, I'll help, whatever. But instead, he's just like, I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm going to work at the place I want to work, but then I'm also going to make you feel bad about not wanting to like rip your life to shreds and move to Canton, Ohio, where you have no friends. I was like, dude,
Who wants to move?
no, you got to be in her shoes for a second and realize like no one wants that shit.
Yeah, they're back together. But his name, let's see, it has to be, because I know her daughter's name is Chloe.
Yeah.
And his name is, yeah, I was right, Brooke. Yeah. Brooks with an S. Brooks Marks. You know you're dramatic when your first and last name end with an S. Brooks.
It's
Marks.
two last names.
Two last names. Brooks
Marks.
What? The
Marks Brooks. It's just like, okay, whatever. Like, yeah, it's got pretentious vibes written all over it.
Take the R out. You're a bookmark. That means you're trying to hold something in place. You're trying to remember. Yeah. But yeah, that whole situation is.
It was heavy, but it was like also kind of just made him look bad.
Also, when a woman is fed up, there's nothing you can do about it. So you
dude, once you've changed, once you've turned that corner, it's over.
It's over. And him just like being immature, just showing like how childish you are, and lets the woman like, oh, I'm making the right decision. You should never handle. Now I don't know how he swindled himself back into her, heart and her arms, but credit to him. But that situation, that scene, it was very childish and immature.
We call it when a girl gets the ick.
The ick.
The ick.
What's the ick?
The ick is when a girl looks at a guy that she's been with or into or anything, and all of a sudden the sexual piece of their relationship turns off. And she goes, like, I no longer look at you in that way, that you're like a guy that I want to be with that way. And I felt like you saw it in her eyes. She kind of like,
Yeah.
just immediately was kind of like, ew.
She said,
The way you're acting is like grossing me out. Because she didn't have any sort of like, she wasn't crying and she wasn't like, I know it's hard, we need to fight through. It was just like, yeah, maybe you need to leave.
Yeah.
And I was like, oof,
Yeah.
bro, the worst thing you can do right now.
She has her own thing. She has her own clothing line. She's on TV.
But if you were just a man about it, be like, well, I really want to figure this out, blah, blah,
She'd
blah, and then you
understood.
left,
Yeah.
it would have been a little cleaner. But the fact that he was kind of doing this weird, like,
childish.
well, I guess you won't want to be with me then. I guess you should, I'm not in the picture, I guess. Like, he was being all like weird and drama about it. I was like, bro, you are going to cut yourself out quick.
Seth should have said this. I made it abundantly clear that I want to be with you. I asked you to move, but you don't want to move. And I understand you have your own thing here, so I understand that. I love our kids. I love you. I love what you have going for yourself. And I never want to interrupt you or your peace. So I'm going to leave right now. And listen, I want to work this out. Whatever me and you can do, we'll figure it out. Because I want to be with you. I know I have my things. I know you moved from me. And right now I'm not in that position to move to Salt Lake right now. But eventually I will. But I love you. I'm going to leave right now, but I will always be thinking about you. Thank you, Meredith. And then walked out. I swear to God.
I'd marry you right now. Dude, I'm down. I mean, let's do it. I'll marry you right now. That was incredible. That was intoxicating. I was lost in your eyes. Wow. Okay. I mean, yeah, Meredith should have called you.
Should have called me.
No. Seth should have called you and been like, yo, what do I do?
Well, no,
you
also
should have just been like, record this, write it down, practice it, and say it to her.
You had it right the first time. Meredith should have called me.
You're like, Meredith will call me. That's why. She's going to see this and know I am the one. And if she doesn't work out, Whitney, call me.
Whitney,
and if Whitney doesn't work out, Lisa, call me.
Come on, you guys go down the goddamn.
Let's go down the list.
We'll get to Heather at that
Let's
point.
go over to Orange County. Listen.
Hey, Kelly.
Hey, Kelly. This isn't working out. Elizabeth, what's going on?
Gina. I didn't even go to Gina.
You just have like a resume out to like all the
Every
housewives.
housewife. Yeah. Eventually, someone is gonna fold.
Someone's gonna bite.
Yeah.
Okay. Last thing, real quick.
Let's talk about it.
Mary and Heather at dinner.
This is how we end the episode. Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
This was, I mean, I feel like this solidified how intense Mary's life has been.
She cried again.
Because Mary goes in there, trying to be everyone's friend. And she goes, by the way, like, you remember, dude, how insane was it?
Heather, you say?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Mary goes in there. Sorry. Heather goes in and Heather goes, it's not like your blood grandpa, right? And that was like, dude, if you thought, that is insane. And she's like, well, I just wanted to make sure because some people thought. And I was like, I don't think I could hang out with someone that's banging their actual grandpa. Like, I think that's off limits.
I don't care if you're step grandpa.
I don't care who you. No. But what I'm saying is she's with her step grandpa.
Yeah.
Which is not blood. Which is totally different than if
We
you're
knew that,
married. Yeah. But I'm saying she was kind of acting like some people thought that. I'm like, Heather, I think you're the only one that thought that. But it was dark when she started crying and getting into the fact that, hey, I didn't want to marry my grandpa.
They don't understand.
But I did it out of obedience, and I was like, ugh. Like, dude, what kind of trauma do you have because of that? Like, to marry your grandpa,
I think that,
and take your grandma's life because she wanted you to, and then you obeyed and did it. Like, dude,
she was a
that's
church girl.
insane.
She grew up in the church, and a lot of these women, black women, I should say, they take church very seriously. Like my grandmother is from the South. My mom is from the South. I'm aunts. They were in the choir. So church is everything. Sundays is church.
Yeah.
So the fact that her grandmother was, the minister or the priest or the pastor, whatever you want to say, they look at, that's their hero in the South or in church.
Sure.
So if your grandmother tells you to do something, you abide by it. Or people think the pastor is the close. That's your phone call to God.
Oh.
So that's how deep it is. So the fact that you
obey.
You know what I mean?
That sucks, man.
So she didn't really have I think like her and Heather can relate more if Heather wasn't so clueless. She was trying to tell her about her and Jen, like, black. She tried to invite her in. She was like, in Heather interview, she goes, was it really a race thing? Like, come on. Like, you don't understand.
She doesn't get it.
She doesn't get it. But you was a woman.
Heather is so white.
Yeah, she's so white.
She's the whitest of white.
Yeah, but she also had obedience because with the Mormon. So I think that's crazy how Mary and Heather wouldn't even like click up.
Yeah.
Because she didn't really have to live she didn't live her life yet. That's why you see Mary try to kind of like discipline her son, but at the same time give him the free will.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I'm gonna let you, because I didn't have that choice. I didn't have options. So the fact that she grew up her whole life, following someone else's life, like I wouldn't say following someone else, but just like living for someone else. She didn't make her own choices. 19 years old, you married this guy. 19 years old, you're the leader of the church. 19 years old, you have all this responsibility on you.
That was so heavy.
Her grandmother skipped over her mom. Like she, you know what I mean?
She didn't even trust her own mom. So then what does that do to you? If you're like, my grandma didn't even trust my own mom, then she's giving me the church at 19 with my grandpa who just, and how weird for him to be like, well, I guess I'm going to marry my granddaughter now. Like,
it's a lot going on.
so crazy for her. And so,
and now she
I
has
felt
beef.
so bad for her.
She has beef with her mom now. Like, understand?
Yeah,
it's like her mom thought she deserved. So it's just a lot going into Mary's like mental state.
I feel bad for her. Yeah. I really feel bad for her. So I feel like there's no way you can ask someone who's lived that life to be normal. Well, or to like act in those situations like respectfully and normally. Like, there's no way.
I understand it because and you're right. You're absolutely right. And the fact that Mary is trying. She's trying to be like civil, but also she's still a human being. Dude. In this episode, we saw her break. Yeah. Usually she's then like, I don't care. That's the first thing. When you care, you say, I don't care. Yeah. You know what I mean? So totally. I think that she is misunderstood. Mm-hmm. I feel for her. I mean, just imagine what, she looks like she's very family oriented. I can't say that.
Oriented.
Yeah, I said it. I'm blanking right now. But I think that she is, she wants a family. Her mother, I don't think you remember a couple of episodes back, she is like, her and her mother doesn't have like a great relationship. Right. And Heather and her like daughters, keep their look at their dynamic.
She's lonely.
So yeah.
So lonely. And then if she's feeling like the group isn't loving her anymore because they're on Jen's side or something, then she's going to feel even more lonely.
Well, Jen lonely as well. Look at her. She has all those assistants, but she, like, at the end of the day, she wants to be loved. Like, her husband's always on the road. Her sons are growing up. Yeah. Like, she has her assist. So that's why I think they're butt heads. And again, it's like looking at a mirror. Like, they have all this past, a history behind them, all this trauma, all this, different kind of relationships, different kind of trials and tribulations behind them. It's such, they can be the best of friends. I get what you're saying, but that ego, if they just drop the
ego, man.
But they won't. I hope they will, but they won't.
They do, but I doubt it. I feel like we've seen some tweets.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like we've seen some tweets post the show that were like, ooh, they're still beefing. Like, Jen shot out some shit that I was like, yikes. I know. I don't know, man. We'll see, hopefully. But I'll tell you one thing that is good. We got strippers and shots out of belly buttons.
Yeah, next episode.
I can't wait. So it's going to be a good time. This one was a little more serious, but I think it was good because it gave us perspective on the ladies. It gave us kind of perspective on what's going on.
We got to talk about it.
We got to figure out these ladies, who they are, what makes them tick. And it looks like we're getting wild the next one.
I can't wait to get wild.
So let's go.
Whitney, I'm with you, baby. Woo. God damn.
Malik is going to call you this week or next. We'll figure something out. We'll fly you out for an interview.
This episode. But
okay, yeah. Thanks for tuning in, you guys. Give us some 5 stars. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Check us out. We've been getting some great messages, some great DMs saying that they're loving it, and some great. We actually got some tea too. I'll spill some stuff next week. We got some insider stuff that came up last. We got a DM.
Okay.
Saying some stuff about some of the ladies from some people in Utah. So we'll talk more next week. But okay, let's get it. We'll see you next week. All right. See you.